we're going quite a long way today. Around the world I've searched for you. I've travelled on and hope has gone to keep a rendezvous. I knew somewhere, sometime, somehow, you'd look at me and I would see the smile you're smiling now. It might have been in County Down, or in New York, or Great Paris, or even London town. No more will I go around the world, for I have found my world in you. Well, in 1958, as a 14-year-old, I went to see Around the World in 80 Days, amazing film, I thought at the time. And it started with a very little film like this, a sort of old-fashioned film going like this, and then suddenly the curtains went right back to this cinerama, and it was at the Elite in Nottingham, and we'd bunked off actually there, which made it more exciting because we should have been having elocution lessons that Saturday afternoon, but we bunked off to watch Around the World in 80 Days, and I thought, God, if only I could go around the world, and I don't care how many days it will take, I just wanted to do it. Well, in 2009 I actually did do it, and people said to us before we set off, and we weren't just going on holiday, we were going to work and do various things, people said to us, where are you going? So we said, and then somebody said, I suppose you're going down under. Well, down under was one of the places we were going, Australia, but I was going to lots of other places as well. And then I thought about that, and I thought, actually, I wonder if I could do a piece of work, a down under piece of work in everywhere we stop, in Singapore and so on and so forth, New Zealand and all the way places that we stop at. And so I did, and this is what I did. And the first place was in Singapore, and I found a bunker under the city with an exhibition, and these are sort of models, full size life of General Percival surrendering Singapore in 1942 to the Japanese, and on his right is this other general who's telling him it's all in, we've got to throw in the towel, and above is the modern city of Singapore, and it is actually a bunker in the centre of the city, hidden away, and you go down a long passage into this, and then you find this sort of underground headquarters for the British Army. And of course, when he surrendered Singapore to I think it was only 30,000 Japanese troops, and he had 80,000, but he was sort of, you know, they bluffed him on that one. It was the end of the British Empire, that was, because nobody believed in Britain being able to defend anything east of Suez, or indeed anywhere. And Winston Churchill called it the biggest disaster that's ever happened militarily to Britain. He's probably right. So that was the first one. The second one was, of course, I didn't need to go literally down under because I was in Australia. I was down under, and this is a piece here, and at the bottom there, I Have a Dream. The black and the orange and the red is the Aboriginal flag, and sitting in front of it is Elizabeth Donovan, who's a full Aborigine from Cape York in the north of the country, and she was down in Sydney, in Newtown in Sydney, where this is, because she was escaping from an abusive husband, and she's throwing her arms up like this for me, and we had a long talk about things, and she's sitting in front of the flag, but she's throwing them up to sort of replicate somebody else is throwing his hands up, and that's a statue of Captain Cook in the middle of Sydney, who's showing that is at least found down under. And the shape of everything I've done is like an exclamation mark there, you can see, with the two of them. That was fun doing that one. Another one we did was about Errol Flynn and about somebody called Truganini. And Errol Flynn was a Tasmanian. I was now in Tasmania, and here he is. There's Errol Flynn, and there is Truganini. She was the last person alive who was original Aboriginal from Tasmania, and she's wearing this wonderful necklace which is made of shells, and in fact I bought a necklace like that, and but in the middle a pair of swimming trunks, and the reason for that is that when I was in Hobart I came across, there was a big exhibition there of Earl Flynn's artefacts lent by his family, and we were forbidden from photographing any of them, particularly the swimming shorts, and there they are in the centre. So that was the Down Under in Tasmania. And then we went on from there to New Zealand, and Down Under there was a town you may have heard of, the people who like Lord of the Rings. I don't like it much, but it's Hobbiton, the underground town, and that's where they filmed. This is where they filmed Hobbiton in Matamata in New Zealand, and there's a sculpture of one of the hobbits in Hobbiton. And in the middle, also the other thing that isn't mentioned there is that nearby is where the Maoris beat the British Army to a standstill in 1864, and the leader, the general in charge of the troops, who was leading the Maoris, Puharika, is offering a helping hand to a wounded soldier, which is what they did on the opposite side. So he's, he's sort of being very, very helpful. But it was nice, that piece of work. I like doing that one. And last but not least, we then ended up in Los Angeles, and poor old Michael Jackson had sadly died. There he is, on his star on Hollywood Boulevard, early one morning. They're still washing it, and the people have planted flowers and things and all around his star. And I went and photographed other stars around there, such as this one here, which is for Mickey Mouse. And I got another one down here for Liberace, and another one of Al Jolson. I thought these were all sort of like characteristics. And then this one of Snow White, where somebody actually happened to step on it, so it became Now White, just as I was photographing it. So I included that because he did change his skin colour several times. So there we are with that. So. Well, RTWs, as they're called around the world now, are popular. You can buy them in bucket shops and things. But to me, I found it exciting, and I still do. I've been around the world several times since, but I still have that sort of thrill when I get on the plane and going to go around the world. It's amazing, and maybe I'm just still, that 14-year-old boy in the elite cinema in Nottingham in 1958, bunking off and looking to a new world. It helps to have modest aspirations when you're young, because it makes everything else exciting.